Welcome back to another episode of JailBreak Overlander. I'm Richie, and this is JailBreak. In this episode, you're going to follow along with me as I search desperately for video footage of a grizzly bear. It's hunting season, and I was getting reports from Wyoming, the Grand Tetons, Yellowstone, all the way down to the Colorado border of hunters having run-ins, having their elks grabbed up, etc. by grizzly bears. I wanted footage, and I spent a long time trying to find it. Along the way, I got some amazing footage of every other animal you could possibly run into. So if you love animals, and you love good footage, and you love overlanding, you may want to follow along. It's pretty good. At any rate, sit back, relax, and check this out. As far as grizzlies go, this appeared to be a very active season. People were getting video left, right, and center of grizzlies attacking bison, grizzlies attacking elk, running them down, etc. And I wanted in on the action. Any place I would see scrapings or a water hole, I would get out and check, and I was finding track. Definitely there was scat here and there, and there was lots of elk track, etc. I spent a good month and a half trying to get footage of grizzlies, and I left no stone unturned. I'm climbing this rock face right here because there is a overhang that from the road looked exactly like a cave. And there had been reports by farmers in that area that the grizzlies had been bothering some calves. So it was well worth a look. This was no easy feat. And right about here I ran into a hive of rather angry bees. So that kind of sucked. And then I realized it was just an outcrop and not a cave at all. Now, I had been searching for days, and I was out in the real wide open plains, and I wasn't having very good luck. And as you can see, I'm losing daylight right now. So I had to find a place to set up camp for the night, which I did, and I caught this amazing cloud formation / sunset, which was pretty ominous looking, but beautiful nonetheless. And every morning when I woke up, there was another text, another report, another video up of grizzly bear activity in the area. So I just couldn't give up hope. I had never seen one of these before, and I was dying to get footage. And apparently, they were around. I just had to find them. I took advantage of the creek and filtered some water, filled up my NATO cans, and got ready to go looking once again. In my quest searching for bears, anything that looked like a cave or a shelter that perhaps a grizzly would reside in, I investigated. Most of what appeared to be caves were just outcrops with shadows, but they were still amazing formations nonetheless, so I videotaped them. Now, where I'm at right now, there was a report of a grizzly trying to make a hunter abandon his kill the day before. So I drove and drove and drove. It's amazing how big and varied Wyoming is. You go from large desert plains to mountaintops to forests, and you rarely see anyone else at all, if ever. As soon as I found a little forest road, I saw one of these little fellas, and I had seen a whole flock of these earlier. Some sort of a grouse, I would imagine. Something I'm not familiar with, but he wasn't too afraid of me. And he let me get some pretty decent footage of him, so I was pretty psyched. I love animals. People? Animals? I dig them. One of the most common animals I ran across was the antelope, or the pronghorn. And these things are amazing. They look like they belong in Africa. And even during hunting season, you could still see quite a few of them around. And these things have got wheels. They can move when they get going. Now, this isn't something most people don't show in videos, but I'm right next to a stream. And the lichen, or the moss, growing on these rocks is amazing. It's almost fluorescent. Deep, deep blacks, neon greens. It was beautiful, and the stone itself was beautiful. I love this stuff. I mean, look at that. Nature is amazing. The Creator is amazing. Everything's doing its job, working in harmony until man shows up. Or should I say, corporations show up. And then that's what happens. You know what I'm saying. Now this, right here, was truly epic. This looked like it was made at some point. It was beautiful. So enjoy this. I got incredible footage of this. This is about 4 to 5 football fields long, 2 football fields wide. Those aren't bushes, those are trees. Just so you have some perspective. If you look real close, you can almost see what looks like Joe Biden's face carved right there. I'm just kidding. This formation was so large, it was almost impossible to get it all in one frame, but I believe I did a fairly decent job of it. This is massive. Massive. This is several New York City blocks. Or dozens and dozens and dozens of acres, one of the two. It's massive. Okay, let's mix this up a little bit, shall we? Here we go. This is me standing on the edge of this cliff for perspective. And it goes down quite a distance. And if you fell off, it would probably look a lot like this. Yep. That would suck. Back on the road. I spent weeks trying to find footage of a grizzly bear. And I'm in the forest right now. There is nobody around for miles. But they're supposed to be around here, so I was on it. There were plenty of rub marks, there were plenty of claw marks everywhere. And every place I saw one, I got out and checked. And I looked every place. I don't mess around. It might take a while, but if there's an animal around, I will find it eventually. I look high and low. You ever wanted to know what it looked like under a tree? Me too. This is all erosion, and I managed to stuff a GoPro under there. Crazy, right? This is what I do. I'm a giant little kid. I ran into a large pond and instantly saw bear track and moose track and knew there were moose around because they were fresh. Just amazing that there's moose standing in those reeds and you can't see them till they want you to see them because they're enormous. They tower over my truck. There's one. here's a young moose, and he's been tracked. He's got a tag around his neck. So Fish and Wildlife are tracking him or whatever. Somebody is. But he just stood there and didn't move, figuring if he didn't move, I couldn't see him. Plus, his buddy had his back over here. He was keeping a good eye on me. If you pay close attention, you'll see what this golden eagle thinks of me watching him. He wasn't alone. But he didn't think much of me. See what I mean? Even gave you a little head bob there. Now imagine you're hiking the mountain or climbing a rock face all night, all day, and you come back and you find your campsite has been overrun by really, really well-fed cattle. Giant cattle at the top of a mountain on an old dirt road. Yep. I hear you, brother. Out in the middle of the Ponderosa, you find unbelievably beautifully built bridges to get livestock over the creeks. Beautiful stuff. And if you look in the incredibly clear water, you can see flecks of gold. Lots of people still pan for gold up here and do fairly well, I guess. It's a lot of work. But you gotta love the view. Now this was on a farm road. I ran into these boys. Beautiful, beautiful horses. So just enjoy these guys because they're gorgeous. Now I hit the road and saw this beautiful old structure and wanted to go back and take pictures. So I did, as you can see. And then suddenly I heard what sounded like thunder, and out of nowhere, this guy came barrel-assing over, and he was pissed. He was like a guard horse. He was not a happy fella. He came right over and he was like, "What are you doing over here?" And he was hemming and hawing and flexing. He was no joke. I saved this video under guard horse because that's the only way I can describe him. He was not happy that I was taking pictures of this building, and he was going to protect it. And he did. Him and his yellow tongue. So after visiting with the guard horse, I headed back into the forest. I took an access road, and I was going to go through a mountain pass that I had seen earlier, and I wanted to get footage because it was just like a fairyland. It was beautiful. Now I took this with a 6K video camera, so this should be really good detail, I hope, because it was not easy to do, and it was even harder to edit. But this rock formation was phenomenal. And to give you some scope of how big this is the one that I was climbing up to that cave earlier, if you recall. Wyoming has some amazing landscapes. If you look real quick, right around 12 o'clock, you can see that huge flock of birds. I don't know what they were. I had never seen them before. But this is just beautiful landscape right here. I love this stuff. I have no idea why, but I love this stuff. And like I said, there's a lot of gold in these hills, they say. That's to give you some perspective on size. It's huge. And right there, where my truck's parked, that's where I was climbing to go to that cave that wasn't a cave at all. It happens. Well, I didn't necessarily find the grizzly bear. I found a lot of other things that were really interesting, and I was burning daylight. This last portion of the video, I'm going to just play it uncut as I recorded it with my GoPro. You might find this interesting. I'm fairly certain you will. Sundown. Just had a couple of coyotes running in front of the truck. And I saw what looks like caves up here. And I can't resist. Got the GoPro 8. Ooh, there goes a jackrabbit. This is way steeper than it looked. Way steeper than it looked. Let's all remember, I'm allergic to dust. I'm at 7,000 feet. And I'm old. I'm still doing this. Ouch. Damn. Every plant hurts around here. Look at that. Crazy. Somebody's been eating. Swallow caves. Lots of bones going in there. Look at that. It's all gold and yellow. I have no idea how this camera's going to pick it up. They sprayed the hell out of the sky today. And people don't even get that, even though it's not a secret anymore. I swear I just heard someone talking. Let me do this with a handheld camera. This goes nowhere. Except down. Okay, that was dumb. Dumb shit. With your host, Richie from Boston. Okay, I gotta go all the way back down there. There's bones everywhere. I wonder what does that. Probably whatever lives in there. That's crazy, right? It's like something put all those sticks there. Some sort of bird of prey. Maybe a hawk, maybe. I haven't seen any owls. If I fall down this, I won't edit it. I will not edit it out. Remember, I killed a rattlesnake today because he was gonna bite me. That's weird. Oh yeah. This rock breaks easy. Whoa. Almost. Bones everywhere. Bird of prey. Remember, I'm just this dumb to come out here totally unarmed. Carry a knife. That's it. Oh. You hear that? Ears are ringing like a champ up here. Something's making a crazy noise. I wonder if these are badger holes, man. I think badgers are dicks. I think they're not cool. I got this new flashlight that I'm testing. Who makes this? Whoa, son of a bitch. I think it's a night core. I hope nothing horrible is out here. The game trail. No, that sucked. It looked like a cave from the road. But it wasn't. A lot of antelope out right now. Coyotes. I hope the camera's picking it up. That'd be awesome. I was gonna get the GoPro 9 because it does 5K, but it said fisheye lens, and I don't want a fisheye lens, so I got the 8, which is still pretty dang new. It's supposed to last longer on a battery, etc. That's amazing to me. The lichen that forms on the rocks. Looks like paint. I can hear a dog going rough. I hope it's not a Great Pyrenees. Well, that was my adventure for a few days. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below, and I will return the favor. I am out.